Car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice in the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice in the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch and you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause ice on the wrist. My bitch, you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money, When the not savers, You be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch out for this. I never switch, I never switch, I never switch, I never switch. Ice in the wrist, ice in the wrist, ice in the wrist, ice in the wrist, ice in the wrist,
all on my wrist, AOB, just all off of getting money since I was legit. Ever since I blew, they all on my hey back then.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we'll see the most valuable player of 2018, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs, as they take on the 11-year man Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels. 2-1-2 teams, each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in Week 4. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
Ladies, 59. I got you.
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn.
Check 37.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, setting the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
And now the offense for Detroit.
Running back Kerryon Johnson was drafted out of Auburn in the second round in 2018 to become the Detroit Lions' lead running back, something they haven't had in a long time. In fact, in 2018, he ran for over 100 yards in a game in September.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Darren Lee picks it.
Pick six, baby. Let's get this.
Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game, that patience got wear thin really quick. And I think the guys on the defensive side of the ball will be the first ones to let him know that's got to stop. Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Tyreek Hill, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs are going to take a first quarter lead. The point after is good.
Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football. All right, when you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He's going to air it out deep for Amendola. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Past the 20, 10, 5, and he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 74 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time, because let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
They'll run it with Johnson. And this is not going to do it as he stopped at the 2-yard line. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. We'll check on his status when we get back. C.J. Anderson with it. Of course, a big part of the Rams' run to the Super Bowl last year. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We're soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh, yeah.
It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And the Chiefs now getting set to go.
And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They call it no gain there on the 1st down play.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Throwing again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. This is going to be a good one-on-one battle to watch. Both of these guys play the game at the highest level.
Both of them are terrific competitors. They play the game with great athleticism and smarts as well.
And in this early round, the defense wins. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. His first catch, good for 14 there and a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
That's the end of the 1st quarter. With the score, Chiefs 7, Lions 3.
from the 30 on second down. Mahomes, throw right side, going to be caught by Hardman. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
From the gun on third down, Mahomes finding Hardman here over the middle. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another first down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Mahomes going to throw. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Chiefs add on to their lead. No problem there on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Danny Amendola as he and the offense march back onto the field. There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
It kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Amendola, the intended receiver. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. If you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Not that time for Watkins, and it's third down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, give you a great opportunity. You got to cash in.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. A reminder coming up tonight, a tough ticket in New Orleans. The Cowboys in town to take on the Saints on Sunday Night Football. And tomorrow night, Charles and I, we go to Pittsburgh. Bengals and Steelers, two teams, well, they don't like each other very much. That's well documented. That starts at 8:15 Eastern as we close out the month of September. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
Stafford, and James has it. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one good for 24 yards.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the...
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Frank Clark able to get him for a loss of about 3. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's first and goal.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Back to throw, Stafford. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Well, they are able to get 9 yards out of that, but now it's fourth down.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a fourth down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A gain there of 21 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver. And it's third down. The Chiefs on third down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Flush to his right. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. Butker's kick here is good. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter. Next, we'll head over to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Ready for the start of the third quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Kelsey, the intended receiver there. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
On 2nd and 9, Stafford. That is caught at the 7. 27 yards there, a first down. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jesse James, his first touchdown on the year. And thanks to the interception, the Lions offense cashes in with 6. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
On the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And now here comes Kansas City. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you got a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Again, it's Williams. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Now it appears we've got a Chief moving pretty gingerly down there. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And he delivers a strike complete to Watkins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space.
Yellow, yellow. Arjolani!
Watch the screen.
On first down, Williams. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. In the first half. He was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
On 2nd and 9, Mahomes. And this is caught by Watkins. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going. Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Over the middle, he's got Watkins. And he'll be brought down At the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
On second down, it's Williams. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to take it. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. KC last year on 4th down, 12 of 15, 3rd best in the league, and they're going again.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
Boy, you talk about not playing it safe. Why were they going for it there, Charles?
It's got to be a full evaluation of their team. Do they trust their defense in this situation? Maybe they think they've given all they can in this game and they don't have anything left. Do they not trust that the other team's quarterback is just so hot that no matter where they get the ball, they go downfield? Remember when Bill Belichick went for it in that game, right, against Indianapolis on the road, and everybody said, why'd you go for it there? I think he just thought to himself, on the other side, if they get the ball, they're going downfield anyway. He was trying to end the game right there with his own offense.
That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet and make a little note. I hope he's writing.
And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Damian Williams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Chiefs use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. To the right and complete to Galladay. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The throw over the middle, taken in. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Throwing is Stafford.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. 11 yards there, first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
To throw is Stafford. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Now it's Stafford.
You can see,
and this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off here by Anthony Hitchens. Amendola, he was the intended target. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They run it again with Williams. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th. The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 2. They go play fake. Mahomes out to his left. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Damian Williams, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Chiefs are able to grow their lead.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. The extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And in the end, it was all capped off by the Damian Williams touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah. Marvin Jones, and he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but This one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Prater for the extra point, and they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. So time definitely not in their favor, down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. So this one in the win column for Kansas City, and it was Patrick Mahomes leading the way.
He doesn't seem to get ruffled no matter where he plays, does he? Home, on the road. If you put him in a neutral site, which